hard drive and destroyed a lot of personal data. I lost everything I ever did professionally in radio. I'm talking interviews, newscasts, news reports that I wrote, including my first newscast, all deleted. And this was around the same time that also one of my email accounts and original Facebook page were hijacked by a hacker while I was at work. When I set up my new email address, I put a disclaimer there that I did not want to see any more anti-Obama jokes or religious propaganda. Not because I'm an atheist and a supporter of this president or of the Democratic Party, but I'm concerned about people sending viruses that will destroy my system. And two, some of the jokes that I was receiving from well-meaning people were very derogatory toward our president, and I didn't care for it. And also I did not care for the end times scenario crap that I was getting. Now, I was more concerned about things being said against our president, because what's to stop you from crossing that line of saying something stupid like saying assassinating a political figure, such as the president, which I never support. And that's in my inbox. NSA finds it. This guy is a red flag. Let's watch him for a while. Make sure that he's on the up and up. Be careful about what you send to people. Think about what you're sending. You could hurt someone's reputation, even unknowingly hurting someone's reputation through stupid shit like this. That's why it's a big deal to me. And I wanted to state it for the record why I don't want to see that crap in my inbox. Okay? I don't want agencies like the NSA monitoring in. I don't mind being critical of our government. But when you start making things like that or hurting someone's physical presence, I draw the line there. Well, the NSA says they collect about 500,000 buddy list. Okay, we heard that. The Post said it learned about the collection tactics from secret documents provided by NSA leaker Edward Snowden and confirmed by senior intelligence officials. Well, it's the latest revelation of the spy agency's practices to be disclosed by Snowden, the former NSA systems analyst who fled the U.S. and now lives in Russia. Well, the newspaper said the NSA analyzes the contacts to map relationships and connections among various foreign intelligence targets. During a typical day in 2012, the NSA's Special Source Operations branch collected more than 440,000 email address books. 440,000. Almost 500,000. That would correspond to a rate of more than 250 million a year. It's pretty much the entire United States of America right there. Well, a spokesman for the National Intelligence Director's Office, which oversees the NSA, told the Post that the agency was seeking intelligence on valid targets and was not interested in personal information from ordinary Americans. Well, spokesman Sean Turner said the NSA was guided by rules that require the agency to, quote, minimize the acquisition, use, and dissemination of information that identifies U.S. citizens or permanent residents. While the collection was taking place overseas, the Post said it encompassed the contact list of many American users. The spy agency obtains the contact list through secret arrangements with foreign telecommunications companies or other services that control internet traffic. Earlier this year, Snowden gave documents to the Post and Britain's Guardian newspaper disclosing U.S. surveillance programs that collect vast amounts of phone records and online data in the name of foreign intelligence, often sweeping up information on American citizens in the process. Well, the collection of contact lists in bulk would be illegal if done in the United States, but the Post said the agency can get around that restriction by intercepting them from access points around the world. You know, anytime any agency is spying, of course they're bending the rules. They're not going to play by the rules, they're going to play by their own rules. That's why I didn't buy into the notion that, we're not collecting Americans' contact info. I didn't buy it. Well, the newspaper quoted a senior intelligence official as saying NSA analysts may not search or distribute information from the contact database unless they can make the case that something in there is a valid foreign intelligence target in and of itself. Commenting on the Post story, Alex Abdo, a staff attorney with the American Civil Liberties Union, said in an email statement, and I quote, "This revelation further confirms that the NSA has relied on the pretense of foreign intelligence gathering to sweep up an extraordinary amount of information about everyday Americans. The NSA's indiscriminate collection of information about innocent people can't be justified on security grounds, and it presents a serious threat to civil liberties." And I wholeheartedly agree. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about, and I should have brought this up yesterday because it would have been more relevant, but this is something I think we need to think about all year long, especially as we head into mid-October. Yesterday was Columbus Day, and how many people honestly celebrate it? Other than a day off from school or work, perhaps? Well, it's a shame because it was explorers like Columbus who have most strikingly exemplified the crucial human trait of curiosity and his desire to know what lies beyond the next mountain, and the bravery to find out. Well, part of the reason may be that Columbus was no angel, to say the least. I don't revere him. I think he set into motion a lot of the problems that we have today. I know that was over 500 years ago. He was no doubt a brave explorer, but he never set foot in North America. Let's face it, he did some pretty bad stuff while he was in the Western Hemisphere. And so for these and other reasons, some places have changed the name of the holiday. For example, in 1989, I remember this, South Dakota changed the holiday's name to Native American Day. Berkeley, California replaced Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day in 1992. Hawaii calls it Discoverers Day. The latter isn't a bad idea, and it comes closest to what I think should happen. Renaming Columbus Day as Exploration Day. Yeah, there's a petition for that. And an article from last year further discussing the idea. We need some way to honor great explorers. Columbus sailed into the unknown and against great odds prevailed, but there are many others worthy of that designation as well, such as Gagarin, Armstrong, Magellan, Cook, da Gama, and others deserve similar recognition. What about the unnamed humans who first walked out of Africa, or into Australia, or across the Bering Sea land bridge into North America? Problem, of course, is that it takes Congress and the President to make such a decision, and we all know how dysfunctional our politicians are, especially during the government shutdown. They are the antithesis of human exploration. Nevertheless, I do control the content of this program, so henceforth Columbus Day will now be known as Exploration Day. Okay. Other things in the news. This one outraged me a bit. Probably not to the extent as it did for others of my kind, but it did raise my the hairs on the back of my neck a little bit, and did raise my blood pressure a little bit more than it should have. But it's an unfair prejudice, and especially when it comes from sources you don't expect to say such things, like a mainstream person such as Oprah Winfrey. She disparaged millions of atheists by telling her audience Sunday, in her opinion, that atheists are incapable of awe. Really? Now, I admit I am not the biggest fan of Oprah Winfrey. After I read that book by Kitty Kelly a couple of years ago, it was a very unflattering portrayal. Now, I admit it's secondhand knowledge, but you can tell a lot about a person by the way they treat others, and how they rose to fame and so forth, and rose to where they are. And I'm sure there are some people from my past that will say the same thing about me. But anyway, in the interview, she is chatting with the endurance swimmer Diana Nyad. Remember her? She swam from Cuba to the tip of Florida over Labor Day weekend. Well, Nyad unhesitantly identifies herself as an atheist when asked about her beliefs, then adds that she has no contradiction between her atheism and her ability to experience awe, or in her words, to weep with the beauty of this universe and be moved by all of humanity. Now, I'm going to play the soundbite that this story was based on. Personally, I don't think Nyad is a true atheist. I think she's more of what you call a spiritualist. I'm a true atheist. I don't believe in anything supernatural. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in spirits. I believe in the human spirit, and I believe in humanity in that regard. But as far as non-corporeal entities, I don't buy it. I never did believe in that stuff. Nothing can defy the laws of physics. Nothing unreal exists. Therefore, I find ghosts to be unreal. Well, apparently Oprah found this description unsettling, for it seems in her view that atheists must be cold, emotionless, rationalist people. Well, I admit I am what I consider a very rational person on many things, but far from cold or emotionless. Okay? So I'm going to play the clip right now, and let me know what you think. Send me an email, Gunther'sHouseOfFriends@gmail.com. Now, this clip runs almost 4 minutes, so please listen to the whole thing.
You told our producers that you're not a God person, that you're a person who's deeply in awe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a God person, and do I argue against my friends who are, religious, Buddhists, Jews, Christians?
Do you consider yourself
No,
atheist?
I'm an atheist. And
but you're in the awe.
yeah, but I don't understand why anybody would find a contradiction in that. I can stand at the beach's edge with the most devout Christian, Jew, Buddhist, go on down the line, and weep with the beauty of this universe and be moved by all of humanity. All the billions of people who have lived before us, who have loved and hurt and suffered. So to me, my definition of God is humanity and is the love of humanity. And as we return to,
Well, I don't call you an atheist then. I think if you believe in the awe and the wonder and in the mystery, that is what God is.
Okay.
That is what God is.
Well,
God
I guess,
is not the bearded guy in the sky.
It's not bearded, but I guess there is an inference with God that there is a presence. There is either a creator or an overseer. I don't criticize anybody because you know what? The definition of life is we will never know. Mm-hmm. We will never know.
Until that last breath.
Yeah.
And maybe it's an oh wow one for you, as it was for Steve Jobs.
Whoa, I should have been praying all these years. I'm going the wrong way. But for now, I don't criticize anybody. People tell me they see ghosts. They see ghosts. People tell me that they remember past lives back to the Middle Ages. They remember them. People see God and feel God, and that's their faith, and I have nothing to say about it. Just for me, I'm an atheist who's in awe.
An atheist in awe. So, do you consider yourself a spiritual person, even as an atheist?
I do. I don't think there's any contradiction in those terms. I think you can be an atheist who doesn't believe in an overarching being who created all of this and sees over it. But there's spirituality because we human beings and we animals, and maybe even we plants, but certainly the ocean and the moon and the stars, we all live with something that is cherished, and we feel the treasure of it. And
I believe that and feel that so deeply. It's why every time I enter my yard or leave, I say, "Hello, trees."
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just the older I am, I walk around every day with flowers and buildings that people created, and but certainly beings. Just every pair of eyes I look into, I see the souls.
Okay, and how do you define that, the soul?
A soul is your spirit. It's your love of humanity. It's your belief that there are, there's more than you. There are people before us that you could weep to look at the discovery of an ancient city and realize that those people lived and they loved and they danced and they ate and they suffered and they they lived just as we are. So